Get you the biggest story of the day, and that is the Supreme Court coming down heavily on the government on the verdict of Pegasus. Strong observations have been made. A committee has been set up to probe on what went down.
Big Pegasus Snoopgate blow to centre. The Supreme Court on Wednesday appointed a panel of experts to probe allegations that Israeli spyware Pegasus was used for surveillance of prominent Indian citizens, including key opposition netas. The three-member Supreme Court bench, comprising Chief Justice N.V. Ramanna and Justices Surya Kant and Hema Kohli, appointed former Apex Court Judge R.V. Ravindran as head of the panel. Eminent technocrats Dr. Naveen Kumar Chaudhary, Dr. Prabhahan P. and Dr. Ashwin Anil Gumaste will be the three technical members of the panel, with ex-research and analysis wing official Alok Joshi and Sandeep Oberoi.
The court itself has been deeply conscious of aspects of national security, and what they say to the centre is, look, you say what you're doing is legal. Explain to us how it's legal. Explain to us what process there is to choose to surveil these people. Court gave them the option, which they rejected, of saying, don't tell us that you're using Pegasus, but tell us how you are choosing people.
The panel will probe if Pegasus was used to spy on any Indian citizen, potential victims, and steps taken by the centre. It will also probe if the centre acquired the spyware and if any government agency actually used it on any citizen. The Apex Court also had some scathing observations to make against the centre, slamming it for its vague reply and rejecting its limited affidavit, telling the government that the state doesn't have a free pass to snoop every time an issue of national security is brought up, but adding a word of caution for petitioners, saying that right to privacy is sacrosanct but has some limitations.
Rejecting the centre's national security argument, the Apex Court has asked very clear questions. Has any state agency or entity ever purchased, procured or used the Pegasus spyware on civilians? And if so, how and under what procedure? Who and how was this surveillance authorized? All of this will now be probed by the technical expert committee overseen by a retired Supreme Court judge. The court has made its point very clear. The centre should have answered its questions in the court itself.
Why was the government resisting an inquiry? What is it that the government is worried about? What do they want to hide and from whom? The other factor, which is very important, is that the government wanted a committee of its own choice. This again creates doubt in the minds of people.
Several opposition heavyweights figured in the potential list of snooping targets. The Supreme Court verdict will now give opposition another tool to attack the centre. With Anisha Mathur in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, viewers, that is what went down inside court, but outside court, the opposition and the government sparring. Here's more.
Pegasus is an attempt to crush Indian democracy. It's an attempt to make sure that the vibrancy of the democracy, the conversation that takes place in a democracy are crushed and people are controlled. So it's a big step that the Supreme Court has said that they're going to look into this matter. I'm confident that we will get the truth out of this. So
Rahul has nothing new to offer. वही बातें, वही शब्दावली, वही वोकैबुलरी और हर विषय को लेकर उन्हीं विषयों को बारंबार दोहराना, यही राहुल गांधी कहते हैं। डेमोक्रेसी खतरे में है, डेमोक्रेसी पे हमला हो गया है, डेमोक्रेसी को बचाना है, भारत के संविधान पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी हमला कर रही है, यही राहुल गांधी की वोकैबुलरी है। रिपीटिशन एंड राहुल गांधी स्टैंड हैंड इन हैंड। हर विषय पे जितने भी इससे पहले प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस हुए हैं वो 30-40 सेकंड के प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस होते हैं और हर प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस पे वही शब्दावली होती है, वही वोकैबुलरी होती है। एंड इफ यू हियर ऑल दीज प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस टुगेदर, you will not be able to say which press conference was done for which issue. Such is the repetition of Mr.
All right, viewers, now let's sift the politics from what happened in court. And to do that, I want to bring in my colleague Anisha Mathur. Anisha, what were the observations that were made by the Apex Court and why were they scathing for the government today?
Well, first of all, the most important observation that the court has made with regard to this entire Pegasus issue is that they have given ample opportunity to the centre to respond and make it stand clear. But because the government did not take a clear stand, they have been forced to take this step and order an inquiry. Remember, in the judgment itself, the Apex Court has noted that had the government taken a clear stand, we would not need to do this. But since the government has not done so, we are being forced to take the prima facie view that there is merit in the allegations that have been raised by the petitioners who've come before us, alleging that they were subject of surveillance. The government did not take any clear stand or even deny that the civilians had been put under surveillance. And that is the most damaging as the observation that the court has made so far in this. In addition, the court has also said that the specter of national security cannot be raised every time that the government wants to deny an answer. You cannot just claim national security concerns. We have made it clear that we're not asking for any information that would have an impact on national security. Now, if you look at the judgment itself, the contours, the terms of reference of this committee are also very, very pointed. Remember, it had refused to give any answers about the software being used, whether anybody was put under surveillance, and now the court has asked specific answers. Did any agency, any entity, whether at the state or central level, use or procure or acquire this Pegasus software? And if some other agency, entity or person done so, how was that done?
All right, appreciate you joining us, Anisha. We're going to keep coming back to you for more updates, but I want to quickly dip into the latest news break that we're getting in. Of Sameer Wankhede exiting the building after being questioned for 4 hours by the NCB itself. The 5-member committee, which is interrogating Wankhede right now, let's break it down for our viewers in terms of the allegations involved. Listen in.
Sameer Wankhede, the man in the spotlight, has been on overdrive to get to the bottom of Aryan Khan's cruise drug bust case. Despite a cloud of allegations hovering him, Sameer Wankhede has decided to forge ahead unfazed. While he does his job, the NCB does its own. A 5-member special team of the NCB has landed in Mumbai only to probe the serious charges of corruption and extortion levelled against Wankhede by an independent witness in the Aryan Khan case. Prabhakar Sale, witness number 1 in Aryan Khan's case, has stated 25 crore rupees extortion deal was being scripted at the behest of Sameer Wankhede to let off Aryan Khan. NCB was quick to order an internal inquiry, with the team now all set to grill key players around this controversy, including Prabhakar Sale, the witness who has accused Sameer Wankhede of extortion; KP Gosavi, another witness in the case whose selfie with Aryan Khan went viral. He has been accused of taking bribe from Shah Rukh Khan's manager on orders of Sameer Wankhede. Sam D'Souza, who's still absconding, a businessman and Gosavi's friend who is named in the extortion claim. Pooja Dadlani, Shah Rukh Khan's manager, who the NCB has accused of trying to influence witnesses. And finally, Sameer Wankhede himself, NCB zonal director, who stands accused of trying to extort money in lieu of freeing Aryan Khan. NCB's Deputy Director General, Northern Region, Gyaneshwar Singh, has said that Sameer Wankhede's statement has been recorded as part of their vigilance inquiry. The Mumbai police tightens the noose on the other end. A preliminary inquiry has been initiated against Sameer Wankhede. Mumbai police has already recorded Prabhakar Sale's statement on camera, where he said he was forced to sign blank papers in the presence of Wankhede and that the extorted money was exchanged in bags. The Mumbai police will now investigate all electronic evidence. CCTV footage will be scanned to trace people, their location and places which Prabhakar mentioned in his statement. Sameer Wankhede has rubbished these allegations, claiming that he's become a target only for doing his duty right.
समीर सर कुछ कहना चाहेंगे सर?
नहीं,
थैंक यू सर। आप पर आरोप लग रहे हैं सर, लगातार पर्सनल अटैक हो रहा है।
सब झूठे हैं।
पर्सनल अटैक लग रहा है सर आप पर।
रिप्लाई करेंगे उसका।
While Sameer Wankede's credibility comes under fire, there are several questions which have cast a shadow on the NCB's probe in this high-profile case. Has the Wankede storm dulled NCB's thrust on the case? Will Sameer Wankede be pulled off this case? Have allegations destroyed perception of a fair probe? Are attacks on Wankede a revenge exercise? Is Uddhav government's stance principled or a cover-up? Sameer Wankede has meanwhile sought protection from Mumbai police from likely legal action being planned, claiming he is being falsely framed. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, now let's get you the latest on Aryan Khan's bail plea. Well, he will have to spend another night in jail for sure, if not more, because Aryan Khan's bail plea today, the court, the Bombay High Court, has said that it will hear and continue the hearing tomorrow as well. This comes after Aryan Khan's bail plea in Bombay High Court was adjourned till tomorrow afternoon. The Narcotics Control Bureau will present its side of arguments seeking extension of Aryan's custody. Today in court, Team Aryan once again raised the issue of admissibility of WhatsApp chats in the probe. Aryan Khan, represented by Mukul Rohatgi, argued that Aryan has been in jail just because of the WhatsApp chats. Moreover, he said that NCB misled Team Aryan on whether they had WhatsApp chats in the first place and alleged that the chats may have been tampered with. All right, let's move on now. The World Health Organization has once again held back on giving approval to India-made Covaxin. They have delayed the emergency use listing approval of Bharat Biotech's Covaxin. The Technical Advisory Group of WHO sought additional clarification to conduct a final risk-benefit assessment. The team has conducted a meeting yesterday to deliberate on adding Covaxin to the list of approved vaccines under WHO. In a statement, the WHO has said that it expects to receive these clarifications from the manufacturer by the end of the week. WHO clearance is a crucial step in Covaxin being accepted by foreign governments and to remove uncertainty around overseas travel of those who have been vaccinated with Covaxin. Welcome back. You're watching our Fact Check segment where we bust certain claims masquerading to be facts on social media platforms and WhatsApp groups. Now, there's a claim floating about suggesting a mob attacked a team of NCB officers in Goregaon recently. The fact in that, viewers, is that the team was attacked by a mob on November 2020 last year during a drug bust. Nothing to do with the current situation. With that quick fact check, time for us to go into a break, but you do stay tuned. On the other side, I'll see you on To The Point.